All right, Jake Latendresse with Latendresse Media is here on the Fishing Business Podcast, and he's going to give us a quick tip on how to shoot better when you're on a boat. It's not the same. It's a I think it's a very specialized talent. The shooters that shoot the Bassmaster Elite Series, and Jake is one of those outdoor shooters, they have to have a certain skill set. Jake, tell us about how to get better at shooting video or even photographs from a boat.
Yeah, so I think, there's lots of things to talk about. We could probably talk about this all day, but one of the most important things is you have to recognize the fact that you're in a small space. You're on a 21-foot boat, but you've only got about, 4 feet in 4 feet width or depth, and maybe 5 foot width platform on the back deck to film from, because you can't get in the way. And I think, and you're constantly fighting waves. Your camera's never stable, so you're constantly having to use your knees and your arms and your entire body to help balance your camera, so it's not all shaky. And raw is one thing, but bad shakiness is bad video production.
That's right.
Okay. So, and you have to be able to use a toggle switch if you're using a broadcast, a camera that's got a zoom on it. You have to know when to zoom in and zoom out. And again, one of the most important things is being able to capture something when nothing's going on. There's always wildlife, there's alligators, there's turtles, there's birds, there's all kinds of stuff going on. But even when that's not happening, there's things your angler is constantly using his equipment, his depth finder, whether it's Garmin, Humminbird, or Lowrance, or whatever it is. They're constantly doing something to improve what's not happening. So you got to be able to capture that to be able to tell that full story. So you're always looking for something to help tell the story.
That's interesting. I love that you think that way, and I'm sure that that there are probably people out there that, like, maybe they take maybe their wife goes with them sometime, or their brother, or even their mom, and they need to get some footage of themselves, and it's not just as easy as just walking out there, even with an iPhone. It's not, even if you're shooting with an iPhone, it's not as easy as just walking out there and turning the camera on. You got to consider all those things, and you got to consider where the sun is.
I think if you can think like you're a fly on the wall, you'll tell a better story, because you become a camera or a lens or an eye in the scene. And if you can try to stay out of the scene and capture it, your subject matter is going to be a lot more natural. The people aren't going to be nervous around you and trying to figure out what to say, because whatever comes out naturally is so much more relevant and so much more engaging than something when someone's, rehearsed
Right.
or thinking too hard about what they're going to say.
And I'll tell you something else as a tip. If you're shooting someone you love, if you're trying to get video footage of someone else, don't ask them a question. Say, talk about ABC. Talk about why you just changed your lure. Because a lot of times when you say, why did you just change your lure? You'll get a one-word answer, because they're focused. But if you'll say, hey, talk about why you changed your lure, it's a cue to them to have a conversation.
I think one of the liberations that we went through as camera guys and at the Bassmaster Elite level was they used to tell us to basically be invisible. We're just a camera. We don't interact with the anglers, anything like that. But now they've turned us loose to where if someone's not saying something, they catch a big bass or whatever, and they just want to get it in the live well so they can get their bait back in the water. You say, while they're measuring it, or while they're putting it in their live well, or while they're retying or readjusting their boat or whatever it is, tell me what just happened. And then all of a sudden they go, well, they go through the story, and all of a sudden that is engaging, and it's not just dead space on television. It's you're providing high quality production values for the person that you're working with. And again, we talked about this in the podcast before. If you're doing it for someone else, think about what your responsibilities are, and that is to create high quality content, which is storytelling and imagery. And just think about those two things.
Great. That's fantastic advice. Thank you, Jake.